Brave Podcast Network.
Fear, it has a way of creeping in, paralyzing you, stealing your dreams. You want to join me in not letting that happen again anymore in your life? I'm so glad you're here. This podcast is going to teach you how. Look, I know it's really hard when you're faced with a lot of challenges in life. It puts you in a state of feeling overwhelmed and helpless. So what do you do about it? Stay there? No way. What if instead you went on a little journey with me today in this podcast and you chose to take the things you're afraid of and channel it into something more productive? What if you could use daily meditation, this one, as a strategy to help you silence your fears? This podcast is going to teach you how to do just that. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Amanda Carroll, the host of the Get Your Brave On podcast. I used to be the world's most fearful woman. When I became a single mom with 3 little kids, suddenly without warning, they were 4, 2, and 8 weeks old. I learned how to build my life back after that plot twist, and now my mission is to teach you how to build your life back through whatever plot twists you might be facing. Maybe it's single motherhood, maybe it's divorce, maybe it's job loss, maybe it's you're just plain lost. I've been through all of those things. I promise this will help. So glad you're here. This is episode, 55, the Brave Meditation to Silence Fear. So first, let's talk about this kind of thing. What is meditation? It's a form of prayer that can help you look within at a deeper level. It's a practice of focusing our thoughts on God by reflecting on His words, listening for His voice, and responding with our own thoughts. We can use meditation to help bring peace into our lives by taking time each day to focus on the presence of Jesus. When we meditate on God's truth, it helps us see things from His perspective rather than being overwhelmed by the emotions of fear and worry that are consuming you right now. We're building here. You might, if you listen to the past couple episodes, episode 52, I gave you 3 ways to start living a full life to silence fear. One of those ways was to identify and face your fears. If you haven't done that yet, that's okay. Real quick, come up with something that you're afraid of, that you need help with. The next episode was a brave prayer to silence fear. And what we did was we prayed together and we took those fears to Jesus and we wrote down on that list His name at the end of your fear. So maybe, for example, you're afraid of your personal finances right now. And you wrote, but with Jesus, what could you do? And we took that to God. This is next level spiritual stuff in this episode. Using meditation to help you silence that fear. And that's what I talked about this is part of self-care. If you want to live a strong and courageous life and you don't want all the stuff you're afraid of to limit what you can do anymore, then you got to practice a few things to take care of you, to take care of that brave and courageous young woman that's trapped inside of you. She wants to come back out. One of the ways I do that I know is an extremely powerful tool, is through meditation. I'm going to teach you how to do faith-based meditation to silence fear and get closer to God. How can we use meditation to silence fear? Well, when we take time to meditate on God's word and we're in His presence, we feel it, we work on it. It's more than just a prayer asking Him to help us. It creates this inner peace that silences your fears. So instead of being overwhelmed by your circumstances, you're able to focus on God's promise and trust Him with whatever challenge you're facing. Now, this doesn't mean that all of our problems suddenly go right away. I'm realistic. However, it does mean that we can find peace in knowing that God is always there for us, no matter what happens in life, because you experience the emotion of that when going through a meditation like this. We can also use this time to ask for guidance from Jesus, as He knows the way out of any situation, no matter how difficult. It will only lead Him closer to us, lead us closer to Him. So sometimes, in our prayers, I think we're used to talking to God. Meditation is an opportunity for you to listen to God and listen to that still small voice of what he's telling you is the best path. Here's what to expect during this faith-based meditation in this podcast. The first step is we're going to go through this quick process to quiet yourself and go into kind of a meditative state. Once we are in this meditative state, we're going to take that life challenge that you're facing, that fear that you wrote down, that you're really scared of, and we're going to ask Jesus to take charge of it. We then imagine he's leading us on this golden pathway in the middle of a storm, but we're above it. We look down and we see all of our problems, but Jesus lifts up our head and says, "Follow me. Let me guide you through this storm. I know the way that will get you out of this storm and will take you to a place that's even better. For that's my specialty," he says, "turning everything to good if you just let me." We're going to go through that. And then next, you'll be able to envision yourself with Jesus walking on this path together side by side. He takes your hand in this strong grip and he looks at your eyes with his loving gaze saying, "You don't have to worry about anything now. I'm here." You can feel the warmth emanating from his hand as he comforts you. As each step gets closer towards your destination on the other side of the storm, you're going to feel your body being filled with peace, knowing Jesus is there holding your hand every step of the way. Finally, you'll imagine yourself arriving at the end of this journey. What does it look like? Does it include freedom from fear, joy, happiness? When you arrive at where Jesus is taking you, be sure to pause at this moment when we get there and ponder what new emotions are entering into your heart during this practice. That's the still small voice of God. Acknowledge them because they will help lead you towards conquering fear in real life situations while still allowing space for growth. I believe that daily meditation is one of the most effective strategies for silencing fear by inviting God into our lives. He knows exactly how to bring us out of the storms into freedom from fear and then experience joy. By taking time each day practicing this daily meditation, you can help cultivate greater trust in God by enabling you to lean on him more deeply, and it will ultimately lead you towards a greater understanding and peace within yourself. As a single mom, and maybe you're divorced or you're facing a big challenge, I get it. It creates fear. But let's remember this powerful tool. Through daily meditation, you can invite God's presence into your life so he can show you his divine power, guiding you away from fear, helping find relief from worry, teaching you how to replace worry with faith, transforming your life forever. So why not try this with me today? Invite Jesus into your fears through daily meditation, experiencing him working towards miracles in your life. You won't regret it. Okay, are you ready? While you're getting comfortable and finding a quiet place, maybe putting some headphones on, highly recommend that, and finding a warm blanket, finding a cozy place to sit up. I'm just going to set the stage here. In the last episode, I'll put the link in the show notes to the 3 ways to start living a full life. We identified our fears, had you write those down, and this is what we're doing next. We're practicing this self-care by putting ourselves in this meditative state and experiencing God. And we're going to get our rallying cry for the 3rd way, which was to take action. So you're going to get your action at the end of this meditation. You've identified your fears. Now we're going to practice self-care and deal with them. And then at the end of this journey, I strongly believe you will have one thing you can do to take action today to conquer that fear. So are you ready? Okay, let's go. First thing, now that you're sitting down, you have your headphones on, you're quiet. We're going to take some breaths. This is to get us into that meditative state. We're going to do this 3 times. This process is scientifically proven to reset the amygdala in your brain, the one that gives you all that fear emotions, and it calms an anxious moment. So remember this the next time fear pops up, and we're going to do it right now together. You're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. You're going to hold that breath for 5 seconds, and then you're going to breathe it out for 7 seconds. The first one, I'll count for you. Ready? Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Okay, last time. Let's do this all together silently. You know what it feels like when all of a sudden, on a Saturday morning, the rain starts. It's a nice, steady rain. And everything all of a sudden is canceled. You have nothing to do. And you just get to be home and be cozy. Put yourself there right now. You're sitting in a cozy chair, got that blanket on you, sipping a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and you're just listening to the rain. And you start to hear a little bit of thunder in the background. The rain gets more, and maybe a little bit of worry comes up. What's going to happen with this storm? It's okay. And you start to think about that one thing that you're really afraid of right now. Don't start to panic. Just remember what it is. And you're in a moment where you're saying, Jesus, I need help with this. Will you guide me? Now, imagine yourself in the midst of this storm. You have an umbrella, you're okay, but you're looking all around you. You're trying to figure out a way to get out of this storm, a place of safety. And you see this yellow, golden pathway, kind of like a yellow brick road. You think, well, that looks promising. So even with the rain starting to come down kind of heavy, you're calm. He's like, okay, that looks like a good opportunity. So you start to walk in that direction, step by step. It's about 10 steps away. 1, 2, 3, 4.
If you're raising a tricky kid, and you know who you are, your home life is likely a total dumpster fire. And when it feels like it's only your home that is a dumpster fire, who can you even talk to about it? Where the F is My Village is a new podcast hosted by me, Stephanie Ferris, and Shelley Cademy. If you've been looking for your people, you have found them. So come join us so you can feel supported and also laugh at the craziness that comes with raising a tricky kid.
Five. You're looking around. With each step, you feel more at peace that this is the right thing to do, the right way through this storm. 5 more steps and you're there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In the moment you put your first step on that golden pathway, you see a figure above you, just in front of you, holding out his hand. saying, come on, I got you. I'll get you out of this storm. You have great trust for some reason, and you're like, okay, I did it. I know what I'm doing here. I'm going to be safe. That feeling of safety and security starts to rise up. You reach out your hand as you get closer. And then you realize as you're just about to grab this strong yet soft, comforting hand, it feels so safe. The figure looks back, and you look and you say, I think that's Jesus. He's right here to lead me. And the moment you reach out your hand and you grab hold, this rush of calm and peace and tranquility comes over you. And all of a sudden, you're not flat on the ground in the middle of a storm, but the two of you on this golden pathway rise up above it all. And all of a sudden, you're looking around, you look down, you're like, whoa, look at that storm. And you see all the people that are causing problems in your life and all the things that are causing issues that you're afraid of right now. You look down and you start to worry, and Jesus says, it's okay, heads up, look at me. Keep your eyes on me. I'm guiding you through. Just follow me through this storm. You feel it? And you start to say, okay. You start to give him your trust in that moment. And he says, give it to me. Thinking, what? What does he want? I don't have anything with me except this umbrella, which apparently I don't need anymore because we're above the storm. He said, no, I want you to give me your fear. Give it to me right now. Let me take charge of it. And for some reason in this moment, you finally feel like, you know what? I think it is okay for me to give it to him. So imagine yourself with that fear in your hand. Your right hand, you're holding onto Jesus. Your left hand, you've got this thing you're so afraid of. And you reach out, he takes his other hand, you give it to him, and he puts it in his pocket. And he says, thank you. Thank you for giving this to me and letting me be in charge of your fear. You feel that relief? Such relief that you're not holding on to this heavy thing anymore. And all of a sudden, instead of the rain, you feel sunlight. The warm light on your face. You're like, finally. I'm not trying to figure out how to get out of this. And Jesus just looks and smiles and says, see, isn't that better? I tell you all the time, come to me who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. This is rest, my daughter. This is my yoke. It's so much easier. Let's go. You're continuing to walk on this beautiful golden pathway, and you realize the storm is gone. You see beautiful flowers and trees and vegetation that must be heavenly. And he's guiding you through. He starts to talk to you about fear and what you're worried about. He says, I'm going to take charge of this now. And now that you're listening, I want you to do what I tell you to do. I'm going to give you the secrets to get through this. You realize all of a sudden this golden pathway, you're at the center when it has 5 or 6 different choices of where to turn next. You're at this connector as if it's a train station of so many different options and decisions to make. And you start to get a little worried. He goes, no, remember, you're with me. It's okay. I know the path to take that's perfect for you. I know the path through this storm that's not only going to keep you safe, but it's going to make you even better. and get you to an even better place in life because you had the bravery to go on this journey with me. For I have commanded you to live a strong and courageous life, but I haven't told you you're alone in it. I said I will go with you wherever you go. So come with me. You put me in charge. So you trust. And he chooses a pathway. He chooses a pathway over on the right. He leads you through and you go together. And it gets even better. It gets even more beautiful. And you, instead of just experiencing peace, all of a sudden you start to feel this thing that's called joy. And you smile. And that fear is silenced. It's gone. And you see Jesus look down and smile at you, and he reaches that other hand, the one that you're not holding, into his pocket. And he gets that fear that you gave him to be in charge of, and he throws it away. He just tosses it like a pitcher in baseball. Like he chucks that thing as far as the east is to the west. And he says, it is gone now, my child. Do not be burdened of fear, for I have not given you a spirit of fear and timidity, but I have given you power and love and self-discipline. So follow me. And he starts to whisper to you with every step that you take. As you start to see a parting in the meadow, a parting in all the trees, all you see is a bright, beautiful sunlight above you. He starts to tell you exactly the next step that you need to take on that pathway to joy. The next decision that you need to make on that pathway to strength. He's whispering to you what he wants you to do next for courage. He whispers what it is that he promises you will experience once you do those things, and you are filled with hope. You're now standing next to him at the end of this golden pathway, and you look next to him with Jesus right there, and you smile, and you say, thank you, my Father. Thank you. And he says, okay, now go. You're safe. I got you to safety. You keep going. He stays there. You take a couple more steps forward. 1, 2, and you look back and he's just smiling like the most proud father and friend you've ever seen. And you feel so confident because you know you're on the right path to safety. You take 2 more steps, 6, 7, and you realize you're back home. You walk in your door, 8, 9, and you're back in your cozy chair, and you feel strong and courageous and at peace. And you know exactly the one brave thing that he wants you to do today to conquer that fear and get your brave on. Open your eyes. If you need to, you can listen to this every single morning to boot up your bravery and live a strong and courageous life. Thank you so much for meditating with me today. Get your brave on.